Robert, let's start with the Arizona factor because I have to know what ultimately made Arizona football and the university your choice when you had so many options coming out of high school.
It was just the opportunity to go to a family atmosphere and help build something that I really truly believed and that could happen. When I came to the University of Arizona, they were in a bowl drought for at least 20 years. And it was my class that said we were going to go in and transform what this program has been able to, do over the past years and really bring something very special. And since 2008. I think they've been going to a bowl game almost every year, if not every other year. But we really wanted to establish something great, and I'm excited to be a part of that turning point for that university. That's for sure.
You could say that when you arrived, they became golden. Could you not?
Absolutely. They definitely got a bunch of golden nuggets that showed up. And now, when you go there and you see the new facilities that the players get to utilize on a daily basis, they definitely turn gold. That's for sure.
I love it. Robert Golden is with us on BYU Sports Nation Game Day. You get picked up as an undrafted free agent by the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2012 and play
Right.
six very productive, successful seasons in Pittsburgh as a defensive back. But I do need to point out you're 2 for 2, according to Pro Football Reference, in your
Yeah.
career passing with an
Right.
average of 34 and a half yards per completion. Robert, did you
Right.
pick the wrong position to play?
Sometimes I ask myself that question. When I was in high school, they tried to make me play quarterback, and I'm like, no, I'm a defensive back. So now I go back and think about what if I played QB? I might would have got one of those Patrick Mahomes contracts, but I'm definitely thankful for my time in Pittsburgh. That's for sure.
You also have a venture in your professional football career where you leave Pittsburgh after 6 years and you wind up playing for Andy Reid, legendary coach,
Right.
BYU guy, and the Kansas City Chiefs. You're in their
Yeah.
camp. And as was pointed out in your great story, you had, for lack of a better phrase, a turning point feeling that you had a bigger mission and purpose in life.
Right.
So when you
Right.
presented that news and that information to Coach Reid, who was a man of faith, how did
Absolutely.
he take that news when you said, I'm going to leave football and go pursue something bigger?
Yeah, he was definitely very supportive, but he also wanted to give me the opportunity to think about it a little bit. I think him and Brett Veach, who's their general manager there, they're like, "Are you sure? Stick it out one more week and let's reconnect after that." But once I told them that, I had a bigger calling and a bigger purpose on my life, they were willing and able to release me from my contract, and that's when I was able to go back to my, home and really reflect on what God had for me. And ultimately, it ended up being a school. And when that was first dropped in my spirit, it kind of went in one ear and out the other, just because I never was involved in education and I never worked for a school or anything before. But when it was placed on my spirit and when the domino effect started to happen and started to meet people, I realized that it was my purpose for life. So excited for the support that I got from the Kansas City Chiefs, but definitely living in my purpose right now, and that's for sure.
This is no small decision and a huge undertaking, as you were just pointing out, getting into an area where at that time you didn't have any real world experience, but you knew and
Right,
felt like you needed to do it. So, as you were mulling over this decision,
right.
ultimately, what emotions were you feeling, and why did you feel like this would be successful given the unknown nature of this decision?
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, that's crazy faith. When you talk about living in faith and doing something, it's visualizing things that you cannot see, but hoping and expecting for the best to happen. So when I did make that decision, yeah, I did walk away from financial security, and I did walk away from doing things that I've been doing ever since I was the age of 3 years old. But ultimately, in order for you to really live a life in purpose, you got to get out the boat. And I was willing and able to get out the boat. And because of my faith and because of me believing that God wouldn't leave me nor forsake me, I stand here today as one of the fastest growing schools in the state of California, really doing something very innovative when it comes to the education model. So I'm excited about what is still yet to come, but at the same time, I want my life story to be a message for many of those that are out there that is looking to live a life in purpose. In order for you to truly get in purpose, you got to get out the boat. So excited for my life to be an example for that for sure.
Inspiring to say the least. As you look at what this school has grown into and its evolution and its continued development, what are you most proud of this entire project and this whole movement?
Yeah, I think when we talk about, our educational approach, it's through environmental education. And we're really trying to create environmental stewards, for individuals to be able to grow up and care for our planet and love our planet and do the things that are needed. And ultimately, when you look at the biblical terms, that's what we were created as human beings to be able to do anyway. So, I'm just excited about, being able to create this opportunity to give our scholars the opportunity to understand what conservation is and then take it out into their communities and help this planet be a better place for the next generation that's to come. So truly excited about that work, but at the end of the day, to see the smile on the kids' faces and to see them showing up and falling in love with the program that was founded by a former NFL player, that is truly exciting and self-fulfilling for me, that's for sure.
Robert, what does it mean to be golden when you tell your students to choose that path and be golden?
Yeah, I mean, when you simply look up the definition for the word golden, it means a degree of excellence. And these scholars are coming to our school to receive a degree of excellence. And in order to be that or to get that degree, you got to give respect. You got to be obligated to whatever it is that you're trying to do. You got to love learning because every single day there's an opportunity to learn something new. You got to remain dedicated because nothing ever happens overnight. But if you stay committed to your mission and your vision, then you'll be able to see it come to fruition. You got to elevate every single day because there's an opportunity for you to rise if you continue to elevate yourself. But most importantly, you can never quit. You can never give up on your goals. You can never give up on your dreams because winners never quit and quitters never win. And I tell our scholars every day if they follow those golden rules, then they can be golden.
Robert, you emanate positivity and goodness. Your smile is worth $1,000,000. We're so glad that we got to spend this time with you on BYU TV and chronicle your story, and certainly wish you the best moving forward. Thanks so much for the time today. And again, don't forget, you're a pretty good quarterback as well as a defensive back.
I'll tell you what, if BYU ever needs me to see if I got any eligibility left, just give me a ring.
Thanks, Robert. We appreciate the time. We'll do our best to be golden.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Spencer.